Hello, friends. Welcome back to the podcast. I am so happy you are here with us today. Grab your coffee or your tea, get comfortable. This is me, Jack.
And hi, everyone. This is me, Emma. I actually have my tea right here. It is peppermint tea today because I am feeling a little bit tired.
Peppermint is a great choice, Emma. It is very relaxing. And relaxing is good because today we have a very important topic. It is a topic that can be a little bit scary for some people.
Oh no, is it grammar? Please tell me we are not talking about grammar today. I am not ready for that.
No, don't worry, it is not grammar, but it is something serious. Today, we are going to talk about how to speak in English at the hospital.
Ooh, wow. Okay, that is actually really useful. But you are right, Jack. It is a little bit scary. I hate hospitals. They make me feel nervous.
That is completely normal. Most people feel nervous in hospitals. But imagine you are traveling. You are in a new country, and suddenly you feel sick. You need to see a doctor, but you don't know the words. That is a very difficult situation.
That sounds like a nightmare. I would probably just panic. I would just point at my stomach and cry.
And that is exactly why we are making this episode. We want to stop the panic. We want to give you the words you need so you can feel calm. We want you to feel confident, even in an emergency.
I like that word, confident. I usually do not feel confident at the doctor's office. I always forget what to say. I get there and my mind goes blank.
It happens to the best of us. But today, we will go through it step by step. We will talk about how to check in, how to describe your pain, and how to understand the doctor.
That sounds amazing. I really need this. I remember one time I was in Spain and I had a headache. I tried to buy medicine, but I think I bought medicine for a stomach ache instead. It was not fun.
Oh dear. See, that is a perfect example. We want to avoid that mistake. We want you to be prepared. And remember, stick with us until the very end of this episode.
Yes. Why should they stay until the end, Jack?
Because at the very end, we have our special vocabulary breakdown. We will take the most difficult words from today's conversation and explain them very clearly. It is the best way to remember everything.
I love the vocabulary breakdown. It's like a little gift at the end of the show.
Exactly. It is vital for your learning. Wait, Jack. Vital? What does that mean?
Ah, good catch. Vital means very, very important. It is essential. So the vocabulary breakdown is vital.
Got it. Vital means very important. Okay, I'm ready. I'm feeling a little less nervous now. That's great to hear. So, let's imagine the situation. You wake up in the morning and you feel terrible. You know you need to go to the hospital.
Okay, I'm imagining it. I'm in my pajamas. I feel sick. I walk into the hospital doors. What happens next?
Well, the first thing you see is the front desk. This is the reception, and this is where the conversation begins.
The reception. Okay, this is usually where I get scared. There are people waiting. The receptionist looks busy. I feel like I'm bothering them.
You are not bothering them, Emma. It is their job to help you, but you need to know how to start the conversation clearly.
Okay, Jack, lead the way. How do we start?
So, you walk up to the desk, you stand tall. The first thing you say is very simple. You say, "Hello, I would like to see a doctor."
Okay, I would like to see a doctor. That is easy enough. Even I can remember that. But what if the receptionist looks at me and says something fast? That is my biggest fear.
That is a very common fear. Usually, they will ask one specific question first. They will ask, "Do you have an appointment?"
An appointment? That means did I call before I came, right?
Exactly. An appointment is a booked time. If you called yesterday and said, "I want to come at 2 p.m., then you have an appointment. So you say, "Yes, I have an appointment at 2 p.m."
But Jack, usually when I am sick, I do not plan it. I just wake up feeling terrible. I do not have an appointment. What do I say then?
In that case, you say, "No, I do not have an appointment. Is it possible to see a doctor now?" This is often called a walk-in. You are just walking in from the street.
A walk-in. Okay, I like that phrase. It sounds casual. I'm just a walk-in. But sometimes they ask for my papers, right?
Yes, they will almost always ask for your identification and your insurance.
Insurance is so complicated. I remember when I moved to a new city, I went to a clinic. They asked for my insurance card and I gave them my library card by mistake.
No way! You gave them your library card? Did they accept it?
No! The receptionist looked at me like I was crazy. She said, "You cannot pay for a doctor with books, Emma." I turned so red. It was so embarrassing.
That is a very funny story, Emma, but it's a good lesson. Have your ID and your insurance card ready in your hand before you talk. It helps you feel organized. Being organized helps you feel calm.
Okay, card in hand. I can do that. Then they usually give me a clipboard with a mountain of paper, right? I hate the paperwork. It takes forever.
It does feel like a mountain sometimes, but you just need to fill in the basics: name, address, date of birth, and then there's a section about your medical history.
Medical history. That's like, have you been sick before?
Yes, they want to know if you have allergies or if you take other medicine. It's a mandatory part of the process.
Wait, Jack. Mandatory? What does that mean?
Oh, good word. Mandatory means you must do it. It's not a choice, it's a rule. Filling out the form is mandatory.
Okay, mandatory. Like wearing a seatbelt in a car. It's mandatory. Got it. So I fill out the mandatory forms, then what?
Then you wait. You sit in the waiting room. This is the part that tests your patience.
I am very bad at waiting. I get anxious. I start looking at other people. I wonder, why is that man coughing? Does he have a zombie virus? My imagination runs wild.
Try to stay calm. Think of the waiting room like a pause button on a video game. You're just paused for a moment. Eventually, a nurse will call your name.
That's the best feeling, when they finally say, "Emma," and I jump up like, "Yes, pick me, pick me."
You are very enthusiastic, Emma. So, the nurse takes you to a room. Before you see the doctor, the nurse will check your vitals.
Vitals? Is that another hard word?
A little bit. Vitals are the important numbers for your body: your temperature, your heart rate, and your blood pressure.
Oh, I know that part. They put the cuff on your arm. It squeezes your arm really tight. I always feel like my arm is going to explode.
It only lasts for a few seconds. It's important to know if your blood pressure is high or low. After they check your vitals, the nurse will ask the golden question. She'll ask, "What brings you here today?"
What brings me here? Can I say, my car brought me here?
You could, but she won't laugh. She means, "Why are you here? What is the problem?" This is where you need to describe your symptoms.
Symptoms. Those are the feelings I have, right? Like pain or heat?
Exactly. Symptoms are the signs that you're sick. And this is where many English learners get stuck. They don't know how to describe the pain exactly.
It is hard. Sometimes pain is weird. Sometimes it's a sharp pain. Sometimes it's a heavy pain. How do I explain that?
Think of it like describing the weather. Is it a storm? Is it just a little rain? If the pain is very sudden and strong like a knife, we call it sharp pain.
Sharp pain. Okay, like if I step on a piece of Lego.
Perfect example. Stepping on a Lego is a sharp pain.
That is the worst pain in the world. Okay, what if the pain is not sharp? What if it's just heavy, like a drum beating in my head?
We usually call that a dull ache or a throbbing pain. Throbbing means it has a rhythm. Boom, 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 like a heartbeat.
Throbbing. That's a funny word. It sounds like a frog. Throbbing. But yes, when I have a headache, it's usually throbbing.
So you would say to the nurse, I have a throbbing headache, or I have a sharp pain in my stomach. Be specific.
Can I just say, I feel bad?
You could, but it doesn't help the doctor very much. Bad can mean many things. Bad could mean you are sad, or it could mean you are vomiting.
Oh, that's a big difference. Okay, I will try to be specific.
Also, use a scale. The nurse might ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is the pain?
I always lie on this one. I always want to say 10. It's a 10. But really, it's probably a 5. I'm just a baby.
It's important to be honest. 10 means you are unconscious or screaming. 1 means it's just a mosquito bite. If you say 10 but you're smiling and chatting, they'll be confused.
Okay, fine. I'll be honest. It's a 6.
That helps them understand the urgency. Urgency means how fast they need to help you.
Urgency. Okay, another good word.
Exactly. Now, after you tell the nurse your symptoms, she leaves, and then you wait again for the doctor. This is when the real nerves start, right?
Oh, yes. The nurse is usually nice, but the doctor is the expert. I always feel like I'm taking a test when the doctor comes in. I'm afraid I will fail the test of being a patient.
You cannot fail at being a patient, Emma, but the conversation with the doctor is a little different than with the nurse. The doctor will ask more questions. They will investigate.
Investigate? Like a detective?
Yes, the doctor is a detective for your body. They're looking for clues.
I like that image. Dr. Sherlock Holmes is checking my stomach.
It's a great metaphor, and to help the detective, you need to give good clues. But giving clues to the doctor can feel very difficult. There is a strange psychology in a hospital. When we walk into that room, we suddenly feel very small.
Yes, that is exactly how I feel. I'm an adult, I pay taxes, I have a job, but the moment a doctor in a white coat looks at me, I feel like I am 5 years old again. I feel like I'm in trouble.
That is a very real thing. In English, we actually call it white coat syndrome. It means your blood pressure goes up just because you're nervous around a doctor. And when you're nervous, your English skills often go down.
They definitely go down. My English becomes broken, I forget grammar, and I do something really bad, Jack. I probably shouldn't admit this, but I do it all the time.
What do you do, Emma? You can tell us. We are all friends here.
Well, when the doctor speaks really fast and they use big, complicated words, I just nod. I smile and I say, yes, okay, even if I have no idea what they are saying.
Ah, the nod, the dangerous nod. Emma, that is the most relatable thing you have said. So many learners do this. They're afraid to say, I don't understand. They don't want to look stupid.
Exactly. I don't want the doctor to think I am not smart. I want them to respect me. So I pretend I understand. But it is actually really dangerous, isn't it?
It is very dangerous. Imagine if the doctor asks, are you allergic to penicillin? And you just nod and say yes because you didn't hear him clearly, but actually you are not allergic. Or imagine he says, take this pill 3 times a day, but you thought he said 3 pills at once.
Oh my gosh, that is scary. One time, a doctor told me to come back for a follow-up. I didn't know what follow-up meant. I thought he meant follow him down the hall. So I stood up and started walking behind him.
Oh no, Emma, that is hilarious, but also a little sad. A follow-up just means a second appointment to check your progress.
I know that now, but back then I felt so foolish. He stopped and looked at me like, why are you following me? I wanted to disappear. I felt so intimidated.
Intimidated. That is a powerful word.
Wait, what does intimidated mean exactly? I think I used it right, but I'm not sure.
You used it perfectly. To feel intimidated means to feel frightened or small because someone else seems more powerful or important than you. The doctor seems powerful, so you feel intimidated.
Yes, that is the feeling. So how do I stop the nod? How do I stop pretending?
You have to change your mindset. You need to remember that the doctor works for you. You are the customer. You are the boss of your body. If you don't understand, the doctor is failing, not you.
I like that. I am the boss. So what can I say instead of just nodding?
You need a stop phrase. You need a phrase that pauses the conversation. You can say, "I'm sorry, English is not my first language. Can you speak more slowly?"
Is that polite? I don't want to be rude.
It is completely polite. Doctors want you to be healthy. They want you to understand. If you tell them you are learning English, usually they become very kind. They will change their voice. They will use simpler words.
Okay. Can you speak more slowly? I can do that. What if they use a really weird medical word, like, I don't know, hypertension?
If they use a big medical word, you can use the magic phrase. Can you explain that in plain English?
In plain English. I love that. It means simple English, right?
Yes. It means explain it like I'm a normal person, not a doctor. Another great trick is to repeat what they said back to them.
Repeat it back, like a parrot?
Not exactly like a parrot. You rephrase it to check your understanding. So if the doctor says you need to hydrate frequently to alleviate the headache, you can say, "So you mean I need to drink more water?"
That's smart. I'm translating their big words into my simple words. Drink more water. And if I'm wrong, they'll correct me.
Exactly. This gives you control. It makes you an active participant, not just a passive listener. It takes away the fear.
It does sound better, but it takes courage. It takes courage to admit you don't understand.
It does. But think about it this way, Emma. What is worse, asking a question and feeling silly for 5 seconds, or taking the wrong medicine and feeling sick for 5 days?
Put that way, the answer is obvious. I would rather feel silly for 5 seconds.
And remember, doctors see everything. They see people at their worst moments. They see people vomiting, crying, and bleeding. They don't care judging your grammar. They really don't care if you use the wrong verb tense. They just want to fix your body.
That is comforting. They're looking at my broken leg, not my broken English.
Ideally, yes. And there's one more emotional hurdle, the fear of bad news. Sometimes we are scared to go to the doctor because we don't want to hear that something is wrong.
Oh, definitely. I avoid the doctor because I want to pretend everything is fine. Ignorance is bliss, right?
Ignorance might be bliss, but it's not healthy. In a foreign language, bad news can sound even scarier because you might miss the nuance.
Nuance?
Nuance means the small, subtle details. For example, a doctor might say, "This is a serious condition, but it is very treatable." If you only hear serious condition and you panic, you miss the nuance that it is treatable. You miss the hope.
That is true. My brain hears the bad word and freezes. It stops listening.
So if you're feeling overwhelmed, it's okay to bring a friend or even use a translation app on your phone.
Can I do that? Can I just pull out my phone and use Google Translate in the middle of the appointment?
Absolutely. It's your health. You can say, "One moment, I need to translate this word." Most doctors are very patient with this. They prefer you use the app than guess.
That is comforting. I always felt like phones were forbidden in the exam room, like school. No phones in class.
This isn't school, Emma. This is real life. Use every tool you have. Be brave, ask questions, and never, ever just nod if you don't understand.
Okay, I promise. No more fake nodding. Next time, I will be brave. I will channel my inner Jack. I will be calm and confident.
You don't need to be me. You just need to be a brave Emma, and I know you can do it.
Thanks, Jack. I actually feel like I could go to a hospital right now. Well, I mean, I hope I don't have to, but if I had to, I could.
That's the spirit. We've covered the check-in, the symptoms, and the psychology. We have traveled a long way in this conversation already.
We have, but I have a question for our listeners. I want to know about their experiences.
That's a great idea. Let's turn the microphone over to them for a moment.
We have been doing a lot of talking, but now we want to hear from you. We have a question for you about doctors and hospitals.
Yes, we want to know what kind of patient you are. So here are your three options. Listen carefully and tell us in the comments. A, B, or C.
Option A, you go to the doctor immediately. The moment you sneeze, you are in the car driving to the hospital. You are very careful.
Option B, you wait a few days. You drink some tea, you sleep, and you see if you get better. You only go to the doctor if it is really necessary. This is definitely me.
Or option C, you refuse to go. You hate doctors. You will only go to the hospital if someone carries you there. You are stubborn.
Oh, my dad is definitely option C. He walked on a broken toe for 3 weeks because he didn't want to go.
That sounds painful. So tell us below, are you A, B, or C? We love reading your answers. It helps us feel like we are really having a conversation with you.
It really does. It is so cool to see people from all over the world answering. Brazil, Japan, Italy. It reminds me that we all have the same problems. We all get sick, we all get nervous.
Exactly. Illness is universal. And speaking of universal, let's do a quick recap of what we learned today. We covered a lot of ground.
We did. First, we talked about the reception. We learned that it is okay to be a walk-in, but you must have your insurance and ID ready, and you have to fill out those mandatory forms.
Correct. Then we moved to the nurse. We talked about vitals, your heart rate and temperature, and we learned how to be specific about pain. Is it a short pain or a throbbing pain?
And don't forget the scale of 1 to 10. Be honest. Don't lie like me.
Yes, honesty is key. Then we talked about the big conversation with the doctor. We discussed how intimidating it can be.
And we made a pact, a promise. No more nodding. We're going to stop the conversation and say, "Can you explain that in plain English?"
That is the most important takeaway today. You have the right to understand.
You know, Jack, I feel like this applies to more than just hospitals. It applies to learning English in general. Sometimes I just nod in conversations at parties because I'm scared to ask.
It absolutely applies to everything. Learning a language is a journey of courage. You have to be willing to be vulnerable.
Vulnerable. That means open to being hurt or looking silly, right?
Yes, but here's the thing about progress. Progress is not a straight line. It's messy. Some days you will feel like a genius. Some days you will feel like you know nothing, and that's okay.
That's really nice to hear. Sometimes I feel like I'm going backward. I learn 5 new words and I forget 10 old ones.
You're not going backward, Emma. You're just building a very large house. Sometimes you're working on the foundation, and it doesn't look like much is happening. But you are building. Every mistake you make in a hospital or at a bank or in a cafe, that mistake is a brick in your house.
A brick in my house. I like that. So my mistake with the library card, that was a brick?
That was a very funny, very memorable brick. You will never forget the word insurance now, will you?
Never. I will remember it forever.
See, the mistake helped you. So, to everyone listening, be patient with yourselves. You are doing something incredibly difficult. You're navigating the world in a second language. That's brave. Be proud of that.
Thanks, Jack. I feel motivated now. I feel like I can tackle anything, even the vocabulary breakdown.
That's perfect timing because we're right at the finish line. We have some excellent words today. Some of them were quite tricky.
Yes, and we have a special guest for the breakdown today, right? Or are we doing it ourselves?
I think today, since the topic is medical, we should invite our friend, Dr. Crystal. She is very precise.
Ooh, Dr. Crystal. She is smart. I'll put on my glasses so I look smart too.
Good idea. So stick around for just 2 more minutes. This is where you lock the knowledge into your brain. Let's head over to the vocabulary breakdown. Welcome to the Vocabulary Breakdown, and I see we are joined by a very special guest today. Welcome, Dr. Crystal.
Hello, Jack. Yes, I am Dr. Crystal. I am very smart. I have a pen in my pocket. I am ready to define words with surgical precision.
Wow, you sound very professional, Dr. Crystal. Okay, let's start with our first word. It is a word we used at the beginning. Vital.
Ah, yes, vital. This is a great word. It means extremely important. It is essential.
Exactly. If something is vital, you cannot live without it. For example, water is vital for human survival.
Or for me, coffee is vital for my morning. If I don't have it, I cannot function.
That is a very true example. Our next word is one you didn't like very much, Dr. Crystal. The word is mandatory.
I do not like this word. Mandatory means required. You have no choice. You must do it.
Correct. It is a rule. For example, wearing a seatbelt in the car is mandatory.
Or filling out the paperwork at the hospital is mandatory, even if it is boring.
Precisely. Now, let's talk about a specific type of pain. We use the word throbbing.
Throbbing. This is an adjective. It describes a pain that beats like a heart or a drum. Boom, boom, boom.
Yes, it has a rhythm. You often hear it with headaches. I have a throbbing headache. Or if you hit your finger with a hammer, it might be throbbing.
It is that pulsing feeling. It is not sharp. It is heavy and rhythmic.
Very good, Dr. Crystal. Next, let's look at an emotion. Intimidated.
To be intimidated means to feel frightened or small because someone else seems more powerful than you.
That is a perfect definition. If you meet a famous person, you might feel intimidated, or if a big dog barks at you.
Or when the doctor uses big words and looks very serious. I feel intimidated. I feel like I want to hide.
Ideally, you won't feel that way after this episode. Now, we have a slightly harder word, nuance. N-U-A-N-C-E.
Ooh, this is a C1 word. Fancy. Nuance means a very small difference in meaning or sound. It is a subtle detail.
Yes, it is not black and white. It's the gray area. For example, there's a nuance between being angry and being annoyed. They're similar, but not exactly the same. That small difference is the nuance.
And if you don't speak the language well, you might miss the nuance. You might not hear the small detail.
Exactly. And our final phrase for today is an idiom, in plain English.
This is my favorite one. It simply means in simple, clear language. No technical jargon, no complicated words.
So, if a lawyer is speaking confusingly, you can say, "Please tell me that in plain English."
It is the best way to ask for clarity without being rude.
Well done, Dr. Crystal. You have successfully diagnosed all the vocabulary today. You can take off your glasses now.
Phew, being smart is exhausting. Thanks, Jack. Those words are actually really useful.
They are. And remember, everyone, your progress doesn't end here. Take these words and try to use one of them today. Write a sentence in the comments using mandatory or vital.
Yes, we want to see your sentences. And if you enjoyed this episode, please hit the like button. It is vital for our channel. See what I did there?
I saw what you did. Very clever. Thank you for listening, everyone. Take care of your health, be brave at the doctor's office, and keep learning.
Bye, guys. Stay healthy and see you next time.
Goodbye.